Hello, welcome to Rewriting Reality. We are back again, this time from Las Vegas. I am actually going to a course this week, so I'm in a hotel. So if the signal sucks, it's not my fault, it's the hotel. Okay, so we had a lot of fun last month, and I'm looking for a lot more fun this month because my guest is Sally Reid, and she's a quantum alignment coach. So I'm going to get quantum aligned today, and you might just get some alignment too. We'll see how things go. She helps people heal emotionally and physically when other methods of healing have failed them. After a near death experience expanded her natural psychic abilities, Sally discovered that she was able to see energy in the body and easily trace energetic patterns through space and time to the origin of the issue. Through a process called quantum alignment, she quickly realigns the patterns to the highest good of her client. Being in alignment allows people to quickly overcome previously impossible problems and finally succeed when they have failed in the past. Additionally, Sally teaches her clients to learn to work with their natural sensitivities instead of resisting them, making life is much making life much more fulfilling and joyful. So, without further ado, welcome to Rewriting Reality, Sally Reid.
Hi there. And really, thanks so much for having me on. I'm
Oh,
looking forward to having a
I'm,
great hour with you.
I'm looking forward to it. I do this show once a month right now. People have asked me to do it more often. And hey, Brittany, how's it going? But a lot of the times when I play with people and they coach me, it takes a while to integrate everything. So I couldn't imagine doing this once a week or twice a week,
No, it wouldn't
and
be good for
yeah, it
you.
would just be too
It'd
much.
be really bad, as a matter of fact. I think it'd be
So
crazy.
yeah, so we're gonna keep it at this pace and see how it goes. All right, so Sally, quantum alignment. Okay, that just sounds powerful,
Yeah.
and there was definitely a story, a near death experience. Tell us all about that. What happened there?
Well, first, I'm going to go back to quantum alignment real quick
Yep.
and how I learned what I was. I didn't know what I was. I just thought I was a freak of nature. And we'll go back to how I got there, my origin story, like a Marvel comic. But
Okay.
a friend of mine who lives in Singapore has a machine called the quantum alignment machine. And she hooks people up to it and it tells them exactly where they're not hitting against each other right. And it tells them what energy needs to shift and change and that kind of thing. And one day I raced it. Hey, Brittany, thanks for saying hey. But one day I raced it against another person. That person was in the room with the machine, and I was here in Nashville, and they were in Singapore. So that was a distance.
Yeah.
And I beat the machine, and we got the same answer. So I went, oh, well, then
Huh.
I'm a quantum alignment coach.
So you beat a machine.
I beat the machine.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and there's literal, I mean, you can Google it, quantum alignment
Yeah.
machines, and they do what I do, only I go even further because, I can talk. So I can translate it because it comes out in numbers and spaces, and then the person who runs the machine has to look it up and translate it, what the machine means.
Okay.
So anyway, I've actually had two near-death experiences, but the second one is the one that was like, I know, greedy, right?
I
I was
think one's
so
enough
greedy.
for most people.
I know, and I do. If I'm just going to set this as an aside, if anybody is afraid of passing, I highly recommend how peaceful and enjoyable it feels to die. I can testify. I've experienced it twice. So it is very peaceful and enjoyable. It's not doesn't hurt a bit. It's very good. But what happened the second time is I I train horses or did quite a bit when I was younger. And I came off of a horse badly and broke my neck and my arm. And through a series of mishaps and uber responsibility and how we're taught to ignore what's going on in our body for our responsibilities, right?
Yep.
I had 2 young children who needed their mommy. So I got up off the ground after lying there for 45 minutes. And I mean, if you want, I can expand what I experienced and what I felt. I just didn't want to take up the whole hour telling a story, kind of.
Okay.
The first thing I noticed immediately after I died is looking down at my body. And this is very common. People will say this a lot. You look down at your body, and most people is like, oh, but mine was not again. Like, damn, messed up again.
Wow. If I guess if you had two, then you could have the "not again" expression. I don't think I'd ever want to be thinking "not again." I almost die.
Yeah, I mean, it's bizarre. I'm not gonna lie. It's just this weirdest feeling. You look down like, okay, that's it. And then immediately you have this very irresistible need to go to the light. And this is the moment of choosing where people, who quote unquote choose to walk in the fourth dimension and stay on the earth. That's their moment where they go, nah, I'm gonna wait to the next train, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times there isn't a next train. So you get pulled to the light. So I'm pulled to the light and I'm going to the light. And so I'm right to the point where, and people who die will know that there's this point. That movie Soul illustrated it really well. If you have never seen the movie Soul,
The animated movie Soul?
yeah, the animated movie, they're having everybody going up to the light, like on this elevated. They illustrated that there's this break, there's this point where you're already dead, but it's this moment of no return where you go to the next place. At least as a child, I named it the next place. People name it a lot of stuff, but it's the next place you go after you leave this realm. And so I get there and I'm about to go into the next place, and it's literally a guy with a clipboard. But it's this thing where like, hold it. You've got options. Wait right there. And I'm like, options? I love options. I get choices. They said, well, here it says that you were scheduled to do some things that you hadn't done yet. And we need you to fulfill this promise that you came here on earth to do, and you haven't done it yet. And I'm like, I wasn't aware that I made a promise.
I should really give you the list of what you're supposed to do.
No kidding. I was totally unaware. And so here I have this thing, and I'm like, okay, silly me. Sure, I'll fulfill it. And I'd already said yes before I asked what it was.
Read the fine print.
I did not read the fine print. And the next thing I know, I wake up, I'm in my body, and an hour and a half has passed.
Okay.
And so then I do the things. Now we're jumping to the point in the story where you get up and you ignore stuff. I ignored the pain because I had an obligation, my children. So I actually, went and met the children off the school bus, got them settled at the table with their homework and their snack, and started cooking dinner and waited for my husband to come home, and all that with a completely broken arm and 3 vertebrae broken in my neck.
Ow.
And it was literally a miracle because the way they were broken, I mean, one of the vertebrae, which is my 4th cervical vertebrae, where it sits, that if it moves, I instantly am not able to move my arms and legs or breathe if it were to shift and cause pressure on my spinal cord. So at several hours later, I go to the hospital, and then clearly at the emergency room. Several hours later, I'm seen. A total of 6 or 7 hours have elapsed since I broke my neck, where I've been walking around. I drove myself to the hospital because somebody had to stay home with the kids.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Think about it. Now the miracles are stacking up, right?
Sure.
And so at the hospital, they give me a brace for my arm, take an x-ray. Yes, you have a green, snapped in half. And then they look at my neck. Does it hurt? Like, yeah, my neck feels stiff. was all I said. So they x-ray it and then they start freaking out. You know how doctors like start talking really?
Yep.
And they said, well, we're going to do an MRI to make sure that what the x-ray says is true. So they did an MRI and they go, well, that can't be. This has to be broken. It can't be right. And so they send me home again to go to the orthopedic guy the next day, because this is a small country hospital. They didn't have an orthopedic guy to read the x-rays. So they sent the x-rays over and to get my arm set and everything. And he takes one look at the MRI and starts yelling at me and freaking out because it terrified him.
That doesn't sound like good bedside manner to yell at.
It was the country. It was middle freaking Georgia. If you've never been to middle Georgia, then
I have
right?
Not. Okay.
So it was, he was, you may know this, that when people see things they can't explain, they become frightened. And if they're used to being an alpha man, their next emotion is anger. Right?
I've never seen that. Yes, all the time. So.
That's what happened. He saw something he couldn't explain. It frightened him. And then he became very angry. And he was so angry, he never set my neck. He never did anything. All he did was put a cervical collar on it and then put some of that casting material on it and said, go away. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I mean, it was hard to believe. And so essentially the miracle is that I lived. And the second miracle is that it healed with no obvious sign that I actually had a problem.
Okay.
Now, those were miracles, and I can't explain them. I can't. Because the way my neck was broken, I should have been dead on the site. I should have been dead, not walking around, but dead. So that's pretty cool.
But you couldn't die because you had stuff to do that you had told them to do.
You have no idea how much I tried to get out of it, too. You have no idea how much I tried to get out of it. Okay. I was like, when I figured out what you want me to do, you want me to do what? It freaked me out too bad. It's like, I can't do that. You know, they say, well, we want you to reach through space and time, manipulate energy and heal people, because you can heal people. And your job is to heal people and tell the truth. I'm like, well, I can do the truth part. And it turns out I could do it. And over time, I became, you see this a lot when the quote unquote hero, I'm calling myself the hero, discovers that they're different, they have to argue with it for a while.
Yeah.
And they have to push back on it. And I did spend 15 years doing that. So
pushing back. Okay. Oh, you're stubborn.
Yeah, just a little.
Okay.
Just a little. Well, I didn't want to be special, and I didn't want to be different. And when I finally realized that it's not me doing the work, I simply am a conduit. I'm the machine, so to speak. I translate for the human in front of me or group of humans in front of me the highest and best alignment based on that particular point in time to counteract whatever it is that's going on. And that's all it is.
Okay.
So I'm technically just the machine.
But you speak back. So.
Yeah, I do. And it's mind-bendy. I mean, there's time when I would argue with it all the time. I'm like, no, that's not right. And it would be right. So
give me an example of what happens with someone when you're in a session with them.
A typical session, I'll start with, like if I'm meeting somebody for the first time, mm-hmm. I usually say, well, why are we together? What do you believe is the issue? Like, what do you have and not want, or what do you want and not have? I'm trying to discover where the block is.
Yeah.
Or if it's somebody like, I used to work a great deal in health. And if somebody had, say, an autoimmune issue, my guides would ask the questions. I wouldn't. They would do, what do you believe is the most important thing you need? What is the most important thing you don't need? What they want to see where your parameters are, so to see where your settings are, and then they get changed, because autoimmune is a lot about your energetic settings. I'm sure you probably know that.
Yep.
And that's what they do.
Okay. So can you give us examples of the results you've had with people?
Wow. There's some just shocking results.
Okay.
As you know, everything is energy. It doesn't matter.
We love to be shocked on this program, so go for it.
Okay, cool. I mean, they're neat. I love them. I'll give you some of my favorites. A woman came to me. She was dead inside, literally. I mean, numb. She worked 25 hours a week. I mean, a day practically. No, she literally did work. She worked for a very large bank that shall remain nameless, and it was an investment bank, and she lived in Dubai and had to work American hours.
Oh, so
and then partially Dubai hours as well.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. So we're adding the hours. And it was banking, it was numbers, it was cold, it was emotionless. And so she shoehorned herself into that, made ridiculous quantities of money, but she wanted to get married. She wanted to have a baby. She wanted to have a new career. And so I discovered the places where she was holding herself in abeyance, essentially, to use, they're very legal, my people are. And we found the contracts and broke them. And I have a 12-week period. And within 10 weeks, she had already stopped her job. And within 16 weeks, she was engaged to be married.
Oh.
And within 22 weeks of our first meeting, she was expecting her first child.
Wow.
Because in Dubai, you would get engaged, then you get married in like a week later. I don't know if you understand the custom, but you do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way it is. I mean, it's like the mothers meet and they agree, and then the families meet and they agree, and then you have a wedding, and that's it. I mean, it's like boom, boom, boom.
That sounds romantic. The mothers meet.
It's just the way it is. I mean, that's why it was able to be so fast, because it was in Dubai. But she's a completely different. I mean, and we are talking head over heels, stupid in love, perfect match, because we called in the perfect match.
Okay.
And that's the kind of thing that can happen. Another thing that was just amazing is a small child who had problems with eczema, and that's autoimmune eczema. And he was, at the time I met him, he was 2.5. And they had tried everything in the book, to the point where the poor child had to have mittens on all the time, and he was head to toe wrapped up, and they were giving him steroids, bless his heart, every day. And you know how hard that is on a growing body. I mean, it would mess him up for good. So as he walked around my office, at the time I was seeing people in person, and as he walked around my office and was looking at my phone, because I had videos on there, so he's watching the videos on my phone, I just worked with him. And his mother brought him home. And I mean, I worked with him maybe 10 minutes, because that was all he could handle. He was a baby, right? If that.
Yep.
3 weeks later, his mother called me up and said, it's gone. The eczema is 100% gone.
100%. Okay.
And then 2 months after that, she called me and says, it's starting to come back. And I said, well, bring him back in. Let's find out. And I said, what changed? Well, my brother and sister-in-law moved in to the house. So it added new energy into the house, right? Yeah. And so I worked with him, and then his mother took the rest of the session. And Dad went outside to play. And before Mom had gone outside to meet father and son, it had visibly disappeared from his skin during that time. So that's different. That was, I mean, and though this is, the results like that is like, wow, the power of the things that I channel. It's not me. I'm the machine. But if you consider that we are entirely energy, light, photons, and space, then it's definitely possible to have amazing changes. And the younger the less fixed a person is, the faster the changes can come.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's amazing how we get more and more screwed up as we get older when we're supposed to be learning stuff, right? So.
Well, I like to think of it as, think about a ship. So they set their course and they get blown 1 degree off.
Yeah.
How far are they off after, 25 years?
Yeah. Okay. So we've heard what this work can do. And as my regular viewers know on this show, we also get to see it because Sally's going to work on me and I'm going to work on her.
Okay.
So, Sally, what do? Do I select? Oh my God. Hold on 1 second. Apparently someone's at my door.
It's always perfect.
I'm busy right now.
So what time are you leaving?
What time am I leaving? I'm here for another week.
1 week?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check.
Okay, thank you. All right. At least housekeeping came before we started the session. So,
yeah, that's great.
okay.
Somebody forgot to put his no moleste pas on there.
It's afternoon here. They usually come before noon. I thought they were gone. They came while I left, but I should have guessed because the bed wasn't made up. So that was on me.
Yeah. It happens.
Okay.
So for you, what I want to do for you is this is what you what
it
I
sounds
see.
like I'm not even going to choose. You already know what's going to happen here.
Well, I already see.
Okay.
No, this is just to begin with.
Okay.
Remember, move you back in your body. Click right there. Oh, charge 1, 2. Oh, you picked up hitchhiker 1, 2, 3. Picked up 3 hitchhikers. So fully in your body and connect to earth. Connect to source. Connect. There. Now you're in alignment. You feel the difference?
Yep.
Good. So now you get to ask for what you want. I needed to get you on, you're crooked.
Yeah, you know what? It was interesting because I was out in exploring Vegas yesterday, and when I got back, I was like a little off, and I'm like, I met some interesting characters yesterday. I think a few of them affected me. So
you had 3 hitchhikers. Okay. Charged them all rent.
Okay.
Got rid of them.
As long as they pay rent, I'm good with it. I got to get that rent coming in. So.
Well, they didn't want to pay rent, so they left.
Oh, okay. And if they pay rent, make sure it's a nice high rent level there. So.
Oh, maybe they can't afford you.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Okay, if it's the ones I was thinking about that I saw yesterday, yeah, they can't afford much. So.
No, they can't.
All right, so now I can ask for any. See, now here's the thing, because I was coming into this and I was going to ask for increasing the mobility because I used to have rheumatoid arthritis and the joints were locked in. But then you started talking about that perfect ideal partner. And I'm like, that sounds yummy too.
All right, there are 2 things stopping. Okay, I see. Oh, God, you're not going to like this. The ideal partner and the joint mobility are directly related to the same thing.
Okay.
And that same thing is what I allow for myself in order to maintain keep my shit on straight, if you know what I mean. You have specific, all humans do. I'm not going to say you in particular. All humans have.
You don't have to sugarcoat anything for me. You can just hit me. Don't worry, all humans, just hit me. Okay.
All right. Well, here's the deal.
Okay.
Dude has some rules that, there's some, and this is a good thing.
Yep.
You got lines in the sand. Beyond there be dragons. Don't go there.
Okay.
And it's physical, emotional, and spiritual. All. You have a circle, a hard line circle.
Okay.
Where beyond there be dragons, don't go. And when it comes to physical mobility, the thing that you're avoiding is pain. When it comes to emotional vulnerability, the thing that you're avoiding is pain. When do you see it?
Yep, I get it.
pattern. So, and it isn't an actual pain, it's the perception of pain.
Yep.
It's the expectation of pain. It's learned pain.
Yep.
And so for you, it's the same pain. Oh my goodness. Days, weeks, months, years. Approximately 50 years ago, and I don't even know how old you are, but approximately 50 years ago, you learned this lesson. And it could be, before you were born or after you're born, or it could be an inherited lesson, but I'm saying approximately 50 years ago.
Mm.
And the lesson is, if you're too open, you're too big of a target.
Okay.
Does this make sense?
Yep.
And it could have been an inherited. No, it's your lesson. They
No,
said, this
my
is
lesson.
yours. That's your freaking lesson.
Yep.
Has nothing to do with anybody else. But and the
They're agreeing.
Hmm?
They're agreeing with you. They're on the same page with you.
Oh, really? They know you. I don't know you.
They know.
And so I'm asking, do I have a window? Do I have access to get in there? The answer is yes, and here's the access. I'm going to talk about the access. The access point is, what if it weren't so? And it's a very simple access. It's like a camel's nose under the tent kind of access. What if being vulnerable did not make you a bigger target? Opening up, what if? And so we're going to take it back 50 years ago and say, what if that moment never happened? So that's the access point, is what if that moment never happened? What other moment could be there? And it's not even what other moment could be there. What moments would there be space for instead is the actual question. Does that make sense? So I'm going to just lift the whole timeline up. My guides are saying in my head, it's inappropriate to do too much right now. Yes, dear. Okay, so I'm going to lift the whole timeline up, and we're going to go into this moment in time. And it was, I'm not going to deny the fact that it was just effing painful. It was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of your origin story. It ain't kind of it. It is. So I'm going to go right into that moment, point 1, and then point 2, across the whole of me. Okay, now I've opened it up to the possibilities, so we've just collapsed that into 0 point and blow the dust away. And so now it's an empty space. Yeah, yawning is a good thing. It's shifting. And there we go. It's an empty space. And it's inappropriate for me to put in what the possibilities are. That's yours.
Yep.
And so let's call in possibilities. The possibilities are unconditional love instead of pain. The possibilities are lack of negative judgment, lack of being the brunt of somebody else, being the expectations of others, that kind of thing. You can, there we go. Now I'm going to pull that out. We don't have to talk about it. They said I'm just pulling it out. And so now, and then invert, and then lock down. And then what's the next thing? Oh, there we go. Get the gyroscope moving again. Just going to get it moving again. Because it's stuck. It's not wanting to move. Let's see if I can set it differently. Boom. There, now it's spinning on its own. There. Nose above, so below. Not yet. I'm not going to close you yet. We got to leave you open and let the stuff spin off. So I'm going to call out what they are. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rules all around. Don't do that, it'll hurt, essentially. We're just call 5 rules around don't do that, it'll hurt. And I'm going to use your physical as the don't do that will hurt. Is there a space where the physical is available? Yes. I'm going to connect to that. And just, joints want you? Yes. You want joints? Yes. And for how many? Okay, pull that out. And that isn't there, so we're going to collapse that even more. I'm waiting for it to sink to the bottom. Then there's the done. I heard the done. And you might feel it's kind of a little spacey for a second. That's not uncommon. And I'm just going to pull this all back down. Pull back down. Okay, as above, so below. As above, so below. As below, so above. As above, so below. Across. Nope, don't close it. I'm just going to get you aligned. I got to leave it open. I can't close you. I'm just going to let you align, let you sink all the way down. And I don't need to have, we don't need to discuss emotions. We don't have to discuss moments. We don't have to discuss anything. We just have to collapse that stuck wave of energy from that particular moment in time, that long ago, because it caused the standing of every other decision.
Okay.
As trauma does. And they said, I'm supposed to leave you alone and let you, to use a technical term, to get your shit back on straight.
So now, while it was going on, we were getting effects going on. So I know with my work this happens. With your work, does it also happen that there's like a splash zone where people that are in the room all get the effects, the benefits?
It's from the vibration, yeah. If you need it, you can use it, to use the words of the song. If you don't, just pass it on. Grateful Dead.
Yep. Sure, with the yarn.
It's my generation.
So, you got Mandy crying too.
Thank you. Yeah. And it's very, very powerful work.
Oh.
But I knew you could handle it. And we didn't air any dirty laundry or anything. Because the laundry doesn't matter. Because in the universe, as you well know, it's either an is or an isn't.
Yep.
It doesn't have any meaning until you ascribe it meaning. It just is.
Yep.
That's all it is. Yeah, it's going to be a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we did a very, very deep shift. And I'm still holding space there for you.
Oh.
It's very rapid. One thing we can know, but it's the pinpointing. It's the, like you can spray paint all over the place, but unless you paint the wall you meant to paint, then there's no point, right?
Okay. Ooh. That's fun.
It's different, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to take a second. You're still not quite there yet. Don't push it.
Oh, I'm not.
But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to stick a pin in it for you and stretch that pin to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours from now. And then you can finish that moment 8 hours from now. And in that 8 hour, I'm going to put 3 more things for you. Because in 8 hours time, You'll be alone in this room and you'll be able to relax and you're not going to be. There you go. There you go. Now I'll pull you back in. Wait for it. It's coming. There we go. Now you're coming back. You were a little fuzzy there for a second. Now you're back.
Yep.
You're coming back. But the process was not completed.
Okay.
It'll yeah. Approximately 8 hours from now. 7.5, 8. Just make sure you're back in the room.
Yep.
It's going to resume.
Okay. Just looking at the time so I know when it's going to start. Okay. Cool. That was neat.
Well, do you want to tell folks what you noticed? That might be something interesting. That'll help you integrate better.
Okay. I could feel the energy shifting inside. A lot of it was in and around the heart moving down into the gut area. And during the integration, I could actually feel stuff going on inside my head. The alignments going on, the rewiring happening.
Yay!
Yeah. So yeah, and it was neat because I was a little spacey there, but then when you said, okay, let's do it till next, I could feel everything just sort of coming into focus and getting centered and grounded here in the moment.
Yeah, I pulled you back down into it, and then it literally is going to start. So make sure you're back in the room.
No, I'll be here.
Yeah, I figured you would. In 8 hours, there's, hopefully you'll be asleep so it can process while you're sleeping.
Oh no, that'll still be only like 8:30 in the evening in this time zone. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're 2 hours. No, you're one. You're only one.
I'm in Pacific time, so.
Oh, so that's 2. Yeah,
Yep.
2 hours.
Yeah, but I got no plans this weekend. I'm just gonna be hanging in the room. So.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, that feels good. Thank you. All right. And if people want to get in touch with you and experience of this little dregs coming out here, is the LinkedIn the best way, or is there a better way to contact you?
I have a new program starting called Blissful Life Academy.
Okay.
But the doors are not quite open yet, but they will be. And it's a month-to-month platform where it's sort of a program where they can help themselves go along, and then once a week you meet with me and I'll help in a group setting, and you get to take as long as you want or as little as you can race through it, or you can go slowly. As you well know, going slowly is the better way, but people can do what they want to do because that's what they're here to do. One of the best ways to get in touch with me is to just visit sallyreid.com, my website.
Okay.
And it's all on there. And I do have some one-on-ones, one where I don't do energy work, where I just help you identify what's going on, and that's the clarity session. And then I have standalone single energy work sessions, and then the 90-day life remodel. And that's what I was talking about, where the woman ended up with a husband and a baby in a little bit more than 90 days from being dead inside.
And remember, it doesn't have to be 90 days to get the baby. It could just be the husband. So.
It's funny how babies oh God, you should see this child. Children that are conceived in love are just so beautiful. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
It shows on your face. He's a little boy. You're like, oh my gosh, it's almost a girl. He's so pretty. He's really pretty.
Okay, cool. Okay, I think I'm good now.
Yeah, maybe I should have warned you how it does knock you off your
Oh no, I mean it's well, there was the comment on the beautiful babies out of love. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
uh,
shows. It really shows
yep,
the love. It's like snowflakes. Dr. Emoto and the snowflakes.
yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's no, I don't mind getting knocked off my feet every now and then. It's fun, and
Good.
it's always cool to work with a powerful energy worker. So okay, so now just want to make sure I'm fully here. Yes. Okay, it is your turn. Okay.
And that, of course, is my husband.
So we each,
Oh,
we each get someone calling right before we're about to start. So
wow, that's the second time. I wonder what's up with that.
people are trying to distract us, but we won't let them. Okay. All right. So how it works for me? Uh, okay. So it's interesting because it works. I'm just trying to because generally what I do on this show is I'm going to describe what I do on the show, but there's another way I do it, which I know you can handle. I just don't normally do it because then it's less context for the people that are watching. So what I do is we talk about the thing you'd love to shift in your life. And when I talk to you, I can tell when your conscious beliefs match your unconscious beliefs. And so when that happens, let's say the common example I use is let's say you say I want to make more money, and I'll say nope, you don't. And then we'll find out what's going on. We'll dig in and find out what are those beliefs that make you think you want it, but you don't really want it. When we find it, I'll ask, are you willing to destroy that belief? Or if it's a story that happens over and over in your life, I'll say, are you willing to step out of the story?
It's
If
exactly what I do,
okay,
only out loud.
okay. So if you say yes and you mean it, and again I can tell if you mean it, then the story shifts in the moment. So that's normally what I do because that way other people that are listening get the context and they can all shift at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I feel is going to happen in this particular session is there's going to be stuff that comes up where I'm just going to go straight in, shift it for you, and move it because I'll see if I can
I got a
narrate.
big boulder that needs to go. Boo boo. I
Yeah.
do.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the boulder.
It's about being seen and heard.
Okay.
I'm getting more and more comfortable with it.
Hmm.
As you can tell, I
Yep.
am, but it's still in there. The energy's still in there that I am uncomfortable being seen and heard.
Okay. What are people going to say about you when they see and hear you?
It's mostly that I'm a fraud, but that doesn't necessarily bother me because that's not my right client.
Okay.
I know the next thing. It's the next level. It's that I am not enough to help them.
Okay.
That's the big one.
Okay.
And
Is
you
that,
felt the truth of that one, didn't you?
yeah, definitely. And is that actually your story or is that something someone put on you?
I think it's a both. Is it my story?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not really yours. So
No,
you bought the story from someone else that you're not enough.
my mother. There you go.
Yep, that's coming up true. So so you've been living in her story. So are you willing to step out of her story that you're not?
Ooh.
Ow, you are resisting that one.
Yeah, that one's hard. Okay, am I
Okay.
willing to step out of her story? It's like, oh, it's an old promise. I take my promises quite seriously.
Okay.
Um,
But how old were you when you made the promise?
I wasn't born yet.
Okay. So
Oops,
okay.
I wasn't born yet. Yeah, I
So
made that promise.
yeah. And if you weren't born enough is actually also accurate.
Yeah.
are you really obligated to keep that promise?
Oh my God, yes. If you make a promise, you're always obligated to keep it.
Whose story is
That is the thing that needs to shift.
Yeah. Who taught you that? If you make a promise, you're always obligated to keep it.
That's a past life thing.
Yeah. And so here's the thing. That means you're carrying promises from past lives into this life.
Oh yeah.
That you don't need to keep. Okay. So
You think?
all right. So are you willing to destroy that belief that if you make a promise in any lifetime, you're obligated to keep it?
Oh God, you know what that means? That means
What?
I don't have to work anymore. I don't need to help people. I mean, the point is if I disavow all promises,
Yep.
then I am entirely off the hook.
Yes.
For everything.
Exactly. What you want to be, because now you're a complete choice. I don't have to, but yes, I'm going to help you.
Yeah, I already went there in my head.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I already went there. I was like, oh, well, then I can start doing things because I want to, not because I promised.
Yep.
Yeah, promises are a big thing for me. I don't know why that is. I mean, I haven't been able to pinpoint. I do not take my promises lightly.
And it's not an uncommon belief, because there's all this, I gave my word is my bond. And I'm like, but if you gave your word to someone that's deceitful and you could use the word against you, do you really have to keep that word?
That's true. And that actually, that's to be taken up later in the court of karma. But in my case, am I able to give up my promise to my mother, which was the original question?
But if you give up that you have to keep every promise, then we can come back to the promise to the mother, because then you can give it up. But we have to start
with every promise.
Yes. So are you willing to destroy the belief that you have to honor every promise you've made in any lifetime?
Wow, that one's hard. That's a big one.
Oh,
am I willing to destroy that belief?
Yeah.
I can hear inside, what would happen if you had no... And the answer is nothing. Nothing would happen. Nothing would change. Yep. It would all be the same.
Yep.
Well, then sure.
Okay, there he goes. Nice eye cough.
Am I able to? Yeah. Yeah, there are no promises. You okay?
No, I'm fine. This happens. These guys watch it every week or every
Okay.
week.
I just don't want to choke you.
I get that a lot. No, don't worry about it.
So am I willing to shift it? Yeah. Oh, what happens next? Nothing. Anything change? Yes. Everything changes, but nothing changes. What does that mean?
Because you're no longer obligated, but you can still continue. So everything changes. In fact, the energy of it is, they know. The energy of it is, it's now all choice. It's now all light. It's all happiness, as opposed to, I have to do this. This is a burden. This is something I have to carry with me through lifetime after lifetime.
It becomes a want to instead of a have to.
Yep. And then your work actually becomes energy creating instead of energy draining.
Yes, this is a fact. I wish the peanut gallery would shut up in my head, but they're like, do it.
Yeah, no, you're shifting quite a bit here.
I know. I'm shifting. It's like, well, everything changes and nothing changes.
Okay.
Here's the question that came up in my heart. What is the point of promising then?
This is the whole thing. There's really no point, but it's a construct we use to create obligation, to create structure that we can all live within.
I heard it's a way to create surety in relationships.
But there's no way to create surety because every relationship still comes down to choice.
They meant it in the legal form.
Yes, in the legal form. Yes. And apparently comfort is also there.
Yes.
But I mean, here it is, surety in a legal form. Let's talk about marriage. Now you can get divorced. I mean, it's
Yeah, but I don't want to.
yeah. But when you don't need promises because you just know the person, you don't ask for promises because if you ask them to do something and you know that they'll do it, you don't have to ask them promise to do it. You just know they'll do it. The times we usually say, "Are you will you promise you'll do it?" is when we
And
think
you're
they're not
unsure
going
that
to do
they'll
it.
do it.
Right? So
Yeah, that's right. You know what else I'm noticing is when we release the obligation, the contract of a promise, then we're reverting civilization back to, I mean, way back when before promises existed. Because promise it was a construct that came along with civilization.
yes.
Well, that's interesting. Because that's how long I've been promising.
Yep. Because our nature is to stay safe, and promises make us feel safe.
You know what's funny is I don't expect others to keep their promises to me, but I expect me to keep promises to others. So no, there is no surety when it comes to me as a human.
As a human,
I'm willing to let everybody off the hook immediately because I've evolved to that point.
yep. But if you're not willing to let yourself off the hook, then you've created all this obligation, which is a heavy energy, which is going to slow you down and keep you stuck.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the job of the leader, of the commander, to make the promises and keep them to the people. And I spent a lot of time doing
because
that.
what if it's the leader's responsibility to say these are the intentions. This is where I would love to get us to go. This is where we're going to try our hardest to go. And with everyone working together, I'm pretty sure we can get there. But at no point did I just say, I promise we're going to get you there. It's because life happens.
You're right. Well, I guess it was a given because what has me thinking about it is I spent a lot of lives as a soldier, a lot of them. And so my brain instantly thinks military structure.
Mhm.
And so when you're the commander of a group of humans, they look to you to tell them what to do and when to do it.
Yep.
And that's what a promise is, that I promise I will lead you. I mean, it doesn't mean I'm not going to tell them what to do, but that's kind of where my brain goes. It goes in that form. And, well, no wonder I hate war so much. Anyway.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Okay, let's see. Is there anything left of those promises? Yes, there's still promises left that haven't been.
We haven't actually cleared your moms yet. We just cleared that you have to make promises. So right.
Yeah, I was just checking. Are there still promises in there? Yeah, there's still promises in there.
We've just broken the framework so that you can get rid of them. So are you willing to step out of any promise you've made in any lifetime?
Yes, boy, that was easy and fast.
Yeah.
Wow, that one was almost yelling. Yes. Okay, all promises. Yeah, that's true. I do I forgive myself for not keeping promises to myself. I do. I forgive everybody for not keeping promises to me, but do I forgive myself for not keeping promises to others? No. So there you go. Do I beat myself up? No.
Yeah.
I just keep it there as there's a demerit.
Okay. So are you willing to step out of the story that you have to track every promise you didn't keep and give yourself demerits for it?
That voice inside of me said no, but my brain said yes. Okay, why did you say no? Because that's what we've always done. Okay, so are you willing to let go of it? It doesn't want to. Okay, where are you willing to let go of it? I'm willing to let go of it for promises that I made in lives previous to this one. That's a good one. Okay,
Part of
I'm
it.
willing to let go of that. Okay. That is a big, that is big. That's big. That's a big shift. Damn. That's a lot. I had a couple lives.
Few, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So now, am I willing to give up the promises I made for this life? There's resistance there.
Yep. Yeah, I can feel that. So why do you have to prove that you can keep all your promises?
That's a good question. It wouldn't be proof. It's part of honor. I have to hold myself as an honor, and I said man in my head. I have to hold myself as an honorable man. That is some old.
Yep.
That must be military training.
Right. So
That's old training. That's an
you're
old
still
story.
pulling in training from old lives, but you're saying that this is actually something you're keeping in this life. It's not. It's still something from another life. So are you willing to disconnect from all those lives that are telling you what to do in this life?
And their answer back was, to what purpose? All of it? Fully disconnect?
We're not talking about disconnect from all the information and the wisdom, just what you've said. No, you have to do this in this life.
Okay, let's stay on task. Okay, the line item is, I'm a person who keep my promises always. And we disavowed from previous lifetimes. Can we disavow in this lifetime? No. Wow. It happened again. Okay, so the obvious question would be, why not? But that's not a useful question. What's a useful question?
What's the benefit of keeping it in this lifetime?
Nothing. There is no benefit.
It's not actually coming up true.
Okay, so that means there's a benefit, and I just don't see what it is.
Do you have to hold
That I am an honorable man.
There it is. Yep. Okay. So are you?
But why do they say man? Why is it man? I am not a man. I'm clearly female.
Well, okay. There's a few things about that because we've all got masculine and feminine energy. So
it's the masculine in me.
Yeah. So are you willing to step out of the story that you have to hold yourself as an honorable man?
Oh, that's a no. That's a hard no.
Hurt.
That is a hard no. Ooh.
Okay. Again, this doesn't feel like yours. Who taught you that you have to do that?
My drill sergeant? I don't know.
Okay, that was partially
father?
true. It's a metaphorical drill sergeant.
Because when you run through boot camp, it's in there hard and good, right?
Yeah. Do you have a spiritual drill sergeant?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Is that who put this in you?
I'm getting a no. Do I have a spiritual?
Did you put this in you because in honor of that drill sergeant?
Yes.
That's it right there. So are you willing to destroy the belief that you have to do this to honor that drill sergeant?
Ooh, there's a lot of resistance. I want to say yes, but it's answering no.
The drill sergeant never told you to do that. This is a decision you made, your interpretation that I have to do this. And that drill sergeant never said you need to do stuff to honor me.
I have to do stuff to bring honor upon the station that's called this physical incarnation.
Do you expect the people you work with and you teach to bring honor towards you?
Honor, no. Respect, yes.
Okay. Are you trying to bring respect or are you trying to bring honor?
They're not the same.
They're not the same. And you keep saying honor.
You're right. Honor has no place.
Yep. So are you willing to step out of that story?
Yes.
There it goes.
There it went. Yeah. Honor has no place, but respect is always required in all relationships. So do I need to keep the promises to my mommy? Meh. It doesn't have any power anymore, does it?
No.
Meh.
Okay. So let's let all that go.
Next order of business. Do I need to keep any promise? It's like, I mean, it comes up as yeah.
Okay. So
not really no, but eh.
So here you can just make that decision and start living from choice instead of promise. Are you willing to step out of the story that you have to keep all those promises?
Yeah, I'm willing. It doesn't mean it'll happen. You feel the tension in my voice when I say yeah.
Yeah, but when you say that's just what I'm going to do, when you've made that decision, that intention, it'll shift.
Well, so I am going.
Are you willing to make that intention?
Yes.
There we go.
I'm willing to make the intention that promises are redundant in all lives. I don't need to keep any promises. But I do need to keep respect.
Yes.
Always. For every living thing.
Yes. And when you are acting for the highest good for each person and each thing, your actions and your words to other people look like promises, but they're just intentions you keep. So.
Yeah, there are no promises. Yeah. I never make a promise to a client. Unless it's to tell the truth. I do promise that. I will always tell you the truth. I won't lie to you.
Okay.
Can I let go of the promises I made to my mother? Yeah, they're in there, but they don't have any power anymore.
Why do you have to keep them?
It kind of feels like a junk drawer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So are you willing to
Why do I need all the crap in my junk drawer?
Are you willing to step out of the story that you need that junk drawer?
Yeah.
There's some resistance in that one. What is?
I know there is. It's like I want to look at it later, I think. I want to sort through it later.
Okay.
Or something.
So we can let you keep the junk drawer of memories, but not the energy of those memories. Not the promises associated with it.
I don't need any promises. Promises are not important. In fact, I choose not to have any promises ever in this lifetime or moving forward at all. I intend you. Boy, that's a 360.
So
did you hear the truth in that?
Yep. Okay. So I just want to clean out all the energy in your junk drawer. So you can put whatever you want in your junk drawer, but it's not going to affect you moving forward.
Wow, I do. I just noticed, like, I make promises to the animals in my life. I make promises to the people in my life.
Mhm.
Wow. Why?
Because it makes them feel safe.
That's right.
Yeah. And you
So
can
they know
still,
what to expect from me.
yep. But here's the thing, they can know what to expect from you without any promises because they can just see your actions, feel your energy, and know who you are.
Yeah. Because promises are contracts.
Mhm. Okay. So, are you willing to step out of the story that you have to make promises to make others feel safe and comfortable? Ow. So, you're trying to take care of everyone here, right? You don't need to
Oh,
take care of everyone.
okay. All right. So, am I willing to do anyway? Ooh, wow, that is real. Ooh. Let me see if I can just climb out of that. Mm. I can let it drop, but that doesn't mean it's going to go anywhere.
Why is it your responsibility to take care of everyone else?
The answer is it just is.
Who assigned you
Those
that?
who can do.
Those who can do. They don't have to do.
Oh, we're getting choices again.
We're getting choices again. So, are you willing to step out of the story that those who can do, or more precisely, the story you've created that those who can have to do?
Yep, that's the story right there. Yeah, I see, and that's a lifetime story.
Uh-huh.
I'm pulling at the thread of it,
Mhm.
and I'm seeing the corners of it, and it's still got a hold of me right there. And it's a story. It's a knee-jerk story.
Mhm.
And the language would betray. The word that comes up is, well, then you're useless.
Who's saying that?
Oh, of course, my mother.
Okay.
Who
That's
else?
that's her story again. Are you
Yeah.
willing to step out of her story that if you can and you don't, then you're useless?
Wow, yeah, you feel that energy just swirling? Is it,
Yep.
but it does not compute. And so I personally, this incarnation thinks the whole need to maintain the story of a person who died in 2016
Hmm.
is ridiculous.
Okay.
But that, oh, there they are. Boom, boom. I'm willing to step out of this. There it is. Boom, boom. I'm willing there. Boom. I got it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm willing to step out of that story and that story and that story and all those other stories and all those stories. And yeah, maintaining the story of those who don't do are useless. And I am not there. I can be of use when I choose to be of use, and that's the rules I'm already running by.
Mhm.
Yeah, I already use those rules 100% of the time, but not inside.
No, I was about to say
It's resistance.
consciously, but not unconsciously. So we needed both. We needed consciously and unconsciously.
Yeah, it helps to align, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
All right, so
So are you willing to align that belief that even though you can, you don't have to?
yeah, I am. Yeah. Yeah. There. It's not as long and deep as that first shift, but this is like a candle going out kind of a shift. Like, oh, help me.
Okay. How do you feel?
Yeah. It still is in my stomach going, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And I'm saying, I don't need it. It's not required.
Okay.
It's a waste of my energy.
Yep.
And my energy at age 64 is becoming limited. And there it goes. It's dead. Isn't that funny? The Wicked Witch is dead.
Okay. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Cool.
The interesting thing about this work is it's very respectful and gentle.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. It isn't a pushover, but it's super respectful. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Honor. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
Okay. Respect. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, there's still a tiny little bit in the lower abdominal cavity.
I am going to ask that to keep processing till it's done.
Yeah.
So that you can get
Eureka free
stuff. Yep.
Okay, I am not only willing to entertain a life free from obligation of promise, and that's exactly how it came out. I am also willing to entertain a life free from, and it's like chastisement, shame, and pressure based on that, because it's the two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
And that was a shift when I promised that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shifting.
Yep. Oh.
And there. Okay. I seem to be bilocating just a little bit. Do you have an opinion about that?
Where are you bilocating to?
I'm in this universe and then in a completely other one.
Okay.
Oh, look. Yeah, I'm multiplying. I don't know what that's about, but I'm going to let it go. Should I let it go or call it all back?
Yeah, let the parts that need to go. And then
okay.
Then just stay grounded with what's here.
Oh, so those are incarnations of me that I stayed attached to.
Yep.
That would explain it.
Yep.
All right, so where are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 there. It's like a balloon bouquet. How pretty.
Okay. That feels better. Okay.
Yeah, that's clear.
Good. All right. Cool. That was fun.
That was. It was good, and it was necessary. It was required.
All right. Yeah, that's why we do this. So.
And when I share this, how can people that see that I've shared this, how can they get in touch with you?
they can get in touch with me by going to energeticmagic.com. So, oh, there we go. All right. I'm glad you had lessons, Mandy. So thank you for staying, even though we went late. But you know that happens on the show. So
it does.
it's not the first time, it won't be the last. But thank you so much, Sally, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, feels so good.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was great. And I love working with really powerful workers. We can shift so much in like just over an hour. Actually, I guess it was less than an hour because we talked first. So
yeah, it was less than an hour. We got a lot done in a really short time.
Yep. So once more, if you want to get in touch with Sally, go to sallyreid.com. And remember, she's got her, what I call it, a course, a program.
It's a coaching program, but it's a month-to-month coaching program, so you can come and go.
All right.
And it's called Blissful Life Academy, and it's opening soon.
Okay. But only sign up if you'd like a blissful life, right? So, all right. We are heading out. Remember to watch. Of course, I forgot to get the list. All the shows on the Breakthrough Show. I gotta. You know what? You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the commercials so you can see them all. So that I don't have to name them off. But we're going to put the network commercial on, and then we're going to leave. But before we do that, thank you one last time to Sally. And new guest next month, new adventures. We have no idea what's going to happen, but it's always fun. So let's get out of here.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.